Let's start today with a visualization. And if you're listening, there's a pretty good chance this is going to feel a little bit like looking in a mirror. Picture the modern cyclist,
Right.
the serious one.
The data-driven athlete.
Exactly. We all know the type. Maybe it's you. You're obsessed with mileage. You're tracking power output down to the single watt.
Right. You've got the carbon fiber frame to shave off a few grams. Every single pedal stroke is optimized for maximum efficiency. It's
Yeah.
all about forward, faster, straight line. You are basically the ultimate machine.
It's an impressive image, for
Yeah.
sure. It just screams performance. But if we look at that exact same image through the lens of our source material today, the WAVE protocol by Terence Hughes, we see something, well, completely different.
Different how?
And honestly, it's a bit disturbing. We don't see a machine of motion. We see a machine of compression. We see a rider who is essentially a seated stack of vertical pressure.
Wow.
A human being just trapped in a closed loop, slowly turning into a piece of, well, rigid furniture that just happens to have legs. A seated stack of vertical pressure. That sounds painful and, frankly, a little insulting to all the training I've been doing. But that is exactly where we're going today. We are unpacking the work of Terence Hughes and this whole concept of forward movers.
And we should be really clear, right out of the gate, this is not a standard training discussion.
Right. I have to warn everyone listening, if you tuned in looking for tips on, how to hit your next Zone 2 target or boost your VO2 max,
Forget about it.
you are absolutely in the wrong place.
You will not find Zone 2 here. In fact, if you went looking for what we're talking about in some high-performance lab with elite athletes, you might actually struggle to find it. We are stepping away from the metrics of exertion completely.
So what are we talking about?
We're talking about cycle the wave. It's about moving from that straight line thinking to what Hughes calls fluid intelligence.
Straight line thinking versus fluid intelligence. I love that. So the mission for this deep dive is to reclaim the fluid cyclist. We aren't talking about training, we're talking about recovery. But, and this is a massive, but it's not just lying on the couch.
No, not at all. It's much more active and honestly way more interesting than just stretching. It's about unweighting the hydraulics and shifting your identity from being a machine to being a fluid system.
Unweighting the hydraulics.
Yeah. It's about neurology, the circulatory system, fascia. It's seeing the body not as a car with separate parts, an engine, wheels, a chassis, but as a forest.
A forest, not a car. Okay, hold that thought. I want to dig into that analogy, but first we have to deal with the problem. The machine. You said the cyclist is a closed loop. What exactly does that mean? I feel pretty open when I'm on a ride.
That's the psychological experience, right? The wind in your face. But let's talk biomechanics. The physical reality of riding a bike is incredibly linear, incredibly repetitive. First, just think about gravity.
Okay.
Your spine is compressed against it for hours. Your hips are hinged shut.
The hip hinge. We're always told that's a power position.
For power, maybe. For fluid flow, it's a disaster. I mean, think about your blood. You're asking your veins to fight a constant uphill battle from your ankles up through bent knees, through those hinged shut hips, all the way back to your heart.
So you're basically a crimped garden hose. You're fighting gravity the entire time, even on a flat road.
Exactly. And then mechanically, the bike itself defines all of your movement. The pedals go in a fixed circle. They can't go anywhere else. Your hands are in a sixth position. It's repetitive. It's predictable. And Hughes argues this turns you into that closed loop,
So you get really, really good at one specific rigid motion.
which we call fitness. But the danger is that the more you ride, the more your nervous system just locks into that one pattern. It's not just your muscles getting tight. It's your brain forgetting how to move any other way. You become a machine designed for linear compression.
And machines, well, they don't adapt, they break.
Precisely. So the goal of the WAVE protocol isn't just to rest. It's to break the machine.
So you can become human again.
That's exactly.
All right, so how do we do it? I'm picturing some crazy foam roller session. But the protocol starts in what Hughes calls the laboratory of decompression, which sounds fancy, but it's just your floor.
I love that framing. The laboratory. It changes your whole intent. The floor isn't just a place to flop down. It's a tool. And the first step is to reverse the one relationship that has defined your entire ride. Gravity.
This is the floor flush, right? So walk us through the setup because the details seem to really matter here.
They're critical. You lie on your back,
Yeah.
flat, no pillow under your head. That is surprisingly important.
Why no pillow? Seems minor.
It's your cervical spine. With a pillow, you're just maintaining that same forward head posture from the bike. You want your spine to actually meet the floor. For most of us, this is the first time all day, maybe all week, that our back muscles haven't had to work to hold us upright. You have to let the floor take the weight.
Okay, flat back on the floor. Then the legs go up.
Legs elevated, you can put them on a chair, up a wall, whatever works. But, and this is key, keep the knees soft. No tension. You're literally flipping the gravity equation on its head.
And this is where the whole anti-exercise mindset kicks in, because I know myself. My instinct is to start doing something. Flexing my feet, trying to feel a stretch or a burn.
And that is exactly what you must not do. Hughes is really strict about this. Do not exercise, do not count reps. If you are looking for the burn, you are still thinking like a machine. You're stuck in that no pain, no gain loop.
So what am I looking for? If it's not a stretch or a burn, what's the sensation?
You're unweighting the hydraulics.
Hmm.
You want to feel the actual weight of the blood moving out of your feet down towards your core. You're giving your heart a day off. You're letting those little valves in your legs, the ones that have been working so hard, just breathe. The goal is to feel the hip socket float instead of grind.
Floating hips. That actually sounds amazing. But this brings up a really interesting point about the core. Because usually you're on the floor, legs up, and some trainer is yelling at you to engage your core, tighten your abs.
And that is one of the biggest myths we need to bust. In the context of the WAVE protocol, the idea of the core as this rigid, braced block, it's a reductionist myth.
Whoa. Okay, that's a big statement. The core is basically religion in cycling.
It is, but it shouldn't be. When we talk about the core, we picture this isolated block of muscle. It needs to be hard, a corset. But Hughes argues, and you see this in his broader work, like in his book, The Invisible Epidemic, the body is an augmented circulatory system. It's fluid.
So focusing on bracing the core is like focusing on the engine block but ignoring the fuel lines and the cooling system.
Yes, that's the body as a car, thinking again, stiffen the chassis, go faster. But if the body is a forest, everything is connected. Every wave connects to the one before it and the one that's about to happen. Your muscles, your breathing, your joints, your fascia, it's all one continuous system.
And if you lock down your core with constant tension,
You're putting a dam in the middle of the river. You're stopping the flow. You're blocking sensitivity. We want connection, not isolation.
that's a huge shift. Instead of bracing against the world, you're trying to flow with it. Okay, so we're on the floor, hydraulics unweighted, we've abandoned our rigid core, we are decompressed, now we start moving, and this is where it gets weird.
It's the wave pedal.
It starts simple enough, you're just cycling your legs in the air, but then Hughes says to shift.
First, you pedal backward. Simple, right. Feels a little odd, but doable. But then comes the challenge that it absolutely breaks the brain. He asks you to pedal one leg forward and one leg backward simultaneously.
Wait, hold on. I'm trying to do this with my hands right now while sitting here. Left hand forward, right hand back. I can't really do it.
It's incredibly difficult.
One leg forward, one leg back. At the same time. Physically, that shouldn't be so hard.
Physically, no. The muscles can do it. Neurologically, it creates an immediate short circuit. And then he just keeps adding layers. Slow it down to a very small imaginary bike.
Yeah.
Then speed it up. Switch directions again.
And the text says something very specific happens. A microsecond hesitation.
Yes, you will feel it. Your brain just stutters. That hesitation is the machine trying to find its gears. It's your autopilot searching for the linear program it knows, the pedal forward program, and realizing this new movement doesn't fit the code.
It's like typing your password in wrong and getting locked out for a second.
Exactly. And what do we usually do when that happens? We get frustrated, we tense up, we try to force it.
Right, come on, legs, just do it.
But the instruction from Hughes is to breathe into that gap. That hesitation is the doorway. That's the moment you stop being a cyclist, a machine of repetition, and start becoming a fluid system in motion. You're building fluid intelligence.
Fluid intelligence. I like that. It's the ability to adapt, not just being strong in a straight line, but being smart in your movement.
Exactly. If you can't move outside of the simple pedal stroke, Hughes says you are disconnected and highly specialized. You might have huge wattage, but you have a tiny movement vocabulary. Like a concert pianist who can only play one song.
Which brings us to the next phase. If the wave pedal was a brain teaser, this next part, the cha-cha-cha, this sounds like a full-on neurological disruption.
Welcome to the dance floor of decompression. This is all designed to expose what Hughes calls the somatic gap.
The somatic gap. Unpack that for us.
It's the gap between what you think your body can do and what it can actually coordinate. We all think we're in control. This exercise proves we are not.
Okay, prove it.
So you're back to the floor cycle, you're comfortable, then you change the rhythm. Instead of 1, 2, 1, 2, you cycle to a cha-cha-cha beat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, rhythm change. I can handle that.
But on every 3, you switch the lead leg.
Getting harder.
And then the scramble. You add the arms. You reach your right arm overhead as your left leg pushes away. And you try to keep that cha-cha-cha rhythm in your feet while your hands move in slow, continuous circles.
It sounds like rubbing your stomach and patting your head, but on steroids.
It's so much more intense. Hughes describes what happens perfectly. He says the breath hitches. The smooth pedal stroke becomes a jerky, frustrated flail.
A jerky, frustrated flail. I feel seen. I haven't even tried it, and I know I'm going to look like a dying cockroach.
And that jerkiness is what Hughes calls the crumble.
The crumble. Sounds bad. In training, in life, we avoid crumbling. We want perfect form. We want stability.
In the performance world, yes. You crumble in a race, you lose. But in the wave world, we invite it. We want it to happen. That jerkiness is your nervous system screaming that it has lost its 3D vocabulary. The machine brain doesn't have a setting for this.
So the frustration isn't a sign that you're doing it wrong. It's the whole point.
It is the entire point. Because, and this is the key philosophy, the moment your autopilot fails is the exact moment your brain starts to grow. When you crumble, when you glitch, your brain is forced to build new bridges. It's neuroplasticity in real time.
So practically, what do we do when we crumble? Do we just fight through it, try to muscle our way back to a rhythm?
Absolutely not. The instruction is don't exercise through it. You have to listen to the glitch.
Listen to the glitch. That's a great phrase. What does that mean, though, to listen to it?
It means you slow down. Hughes says to slow down by 80%. You aren't trying to get it right in a performance sense. You're searching for that one tiny flicker of coordination where your arms and legs finally start a conversation. That little flicker, that's the wave.
And that comes right back to the body being a forest.
Yeah.
When you find that flicker, suddenly the branches are talking to the roots again.
Exactly. You are reestablishing the connections that the linear, compressed cycling posture severed. You're reminding your body that it's capable of so much more than just vertical pressure.
It's fascinating because it completely challenges what it means to be fit. We think fitness is output, watts per kilo, but this is a whole other category. Movement intelligence.
And we completely neglect it. We build these incredibly powerful engines, but we house them in a chassis that's getting more rigid and disconnected by the day. If you want to be riding your bike when you're 70 or 80, that fluid intelligence is probably more valuable than your max power output today.
Because a rigid machine breaks, a fluid system adapts.
That's it. And remember, every wave connects to the one before and the one after. This isn't just about recovering from today's ride so you can hammer again tomorrow. It's about ensuring that cycling doesn't hollow out your human movement.
Making sure you don't become that chair with legs.
Right.
Okay, so just to recap for the listener who wants to try this. You hit the floor, no pillow.
Back meets floor. Unweight the hydraulics. Let gravity do the work.
Start moving the legs. Look for flow, not the burn. No rigid core.
And then dare to confuse yourself. Pedal backward. Split direction. Find that cha-cha-cha.
And when you feel like a flailing, uncoordinated mess,
You celebrate it. That is your brain waking up. That's the crumble. Smile at the glitch, slow way down, and find the wave.
it's a totally different way to look at recovery. It's active, it's cerebral, and it's surprisingly humble.
It is. It forces you to admit that maybe your body isn't as smart as you thought it was, even if it's very strong.
So as we wrap this up, I'm left thinking about that distinction. The machine versus the fluid system.
It's the central tension, isn't it? We use machines, bikes, computers, and we risk becoming them.
So here's a thought for you to take with you. We spend so much time and energy training to be strong in a straight line. We pride ourselves on grinding it out. But if your training makes you unbreakable in one direction, but you crumble the moment the rhythm changes, are you actually fit? Or are you just a specialized machine waiting for the wrong kind of stress to break you?
It makes you wonder. Maybe real recovery isn't about stillness. Maybe it's about reclaiming the complexity of movement you lost while you were locked in the pedals.
A forest, not a car. Listen to the glitch. Thanks for diving in with us.
Always a pleasure.
See you in the next one. Stay fluid.